And a very good evening to you. This is Easy Friday. My name is Shiksha Arora. Welcome to KBC Channel 1, where I'll be giving you tonight's top stories. Starting off with President William Ruto, who's warned that he will continue to crack the whip in the war against graft in order to protect the resources of the people of Kenya. We also have the probe that continues, that is of Pastor Paul Mackenzie. And of course, the government is really looking at what needs to be done in the sense, well, it's a mystery that needs to be unraveled surrounding the deaths connected to Pastor Paul Mackenzie. Of course, that and much more later on. We've got business news as well as sports news. Remember, you can get in touch with us. The hashtag is Easy Friday. Tell us where you're watching from at KBC Channel 1 at Shiksha Arora, and we'll definitely give you a hello later on in the bulletin. But for now, it's time for the highlights. More heads to roll over graft. President Ruto assures of a graft-free regime. The cost of war on banditry. Government to invest 20 billion shillings in police equipment modernization.
Na tunatafuta pia solution ya hii maneno. Hii vimefanyika, tutafanyaje ili siku ingine isiregelewe yaliyotendeka hapa Shakahola.
And the Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Shakahola to probe Pastor Mackenzie's TV license. A very good evening to you. This is Easy Friday. My name is Shiksha Arora, of course, with the sign language interpreter Lucy Maura. And tonight's top story. President William Ruto has warned that he will continue to crack the whip in the war against graft in order to protect the resources of the people of Kenya. Now, President Ruto vowed to take personal responsibility for the accountability of resources in the country, saying no individual will have the leeway to steal from citizens. The head of state further maintained that the 3% housing fund is inevitable if the country is to achieve its dream of creating job opportunities for the millions of unemployed youth. Kamche Menza with more details.
Less than a week after cracking down on two scandal-ridden government agencies leading to the dismissal of top officials, President William Ruto has warned that heads will continue to roll if individuals tasked with running government offices slip on their jobs.
I will take personal responsibility on the accountability of resources of the people of Kenya. Ile pesa yenu, ushuru ya wananchi wa Kenya, pesa wananchi wa Kenya wametoa kwa jasho yao. Hakuna mtu ataiba. Hawawezi. Na mtu akijaribu atakutana na mimi.
The president saying there is need to ensure taxes are prudently used for the benefit of Kenyans and not deepening individuals' pockets.
Ile kazi nilipatiwa na ile fimbo nilipatiwa pale ni kunyorosha watu ambao wanataka kuwepa na pesa ya wananchi. And therefore nimeshawaambia kila mtu, marafiki zangu nimewaambia, wale sio marafiki zangu nimewaambia ya kwamba tuendelee na urafiki, tuendelee na mambo ingine, lakini pesa ya wananchi hapana.
President Ruto was speaking when he attended the burial ceremony of the late former Kandara Member of Parliament, David Waweru Ng'ethe, who is the father to Dagoretti South lawmaker John Kerie in Kandara, Murang'a County. The president yet again defended the 3% housing fund proposed in the Finance Bill 2023, saying it is crucial in opening up opportunities for the unemployed youth. Leaders who accompanied the president hailed the head of state for his recent measures in stemming graft.
You are no longer being judged by what you say in regards to corruption. You are being judged by the breadth and depth of the action that you're already taking. You are not talking, Mheshimiwa Rais, you are acting.
Tumekuwa na EPZ moja pale Athi River. Mwaka huu, katika mwaka wa kwanza wa serikali ya Kenya Kwanza, Rais ametuamrisha tufanye EPZ ingine 5. Na katika hizo 5, Rais akaniamrisha pia moja ya hizo EPZ ikuwe hapa Murang'a County. Na hiyo maneno tunaanza mwezi ya 7.
The president has also called for the establishment of tree nurseries in all schools to help efforts of achieving forest cover in combating climate change. Kamchimenza for Easy Friday.
In other news, the government will invest 20 billion shillings in the modernization of equipment for the National Police Service as it goes on to fight banditry in the country. Speaking in Samburu County when he chaired a security meeting, Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki said the investment will go a long way in positioning the police strongly against criminal elements.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Professor Kithure Kindiki was in Longewan area of Samburu County for a joint security meeting with area leaders, where he instructed county commissioners in banditry-prone areas to lead recovery exercises as the chairpersons of the security committees.
Nimeagiza regional commissioner wetu wa Rift Valley ya kwamba wakati mifugo inaibiwa na inavuka mipaka ya county commissioner wote wawili lazima wahusike physically katika kufuata hiyo mifugo.
The National Police Service will also get a boost in equipment modernization worth 20 billion shillings to ensure officers are not exposed to harm by criminals.
We must put bandits in one corner and we must make sure we don't expose our officers to be hurt by these criminals.
One assistant chief has been interdicted after his homestead was found to house stolen livestock, with the CS issuing a stern warning to those abetting the heinous crime.
We must make sure that the people of Samburu and the people of other places across the country continue to be safe.
The recovery exercise has so far witnessed the recovery of 148 guns, 96 of them coming from Samburu County. 72 ghosts have also been recovered amid hopes of more recoveries. Kindiki said 31 people have also been arrested and a statement with their names will be released next week.
We are going to charge them with various offenses: livestock theft, robbery with violence, and some of them with terrorism.
Mr. Farr reporting for Easy Friday.
Now, the Senate Probe Committee on the Shakahola horror has promised to unravel the mystery surrounding the deaths connected to Pastor Paul Mackenzie of the Good News International Church. The committee, led by Tana River County Senator Danson Mungatana, visited the region on a fact-finding mission where it called for calm as the probe gets underway.
With more than 230 bodies exhumed, questions continue to linger as to how the horror continued unnoticed. These are some of the questions Kenyans want answered.
Tumekubaliana ya kwamba kati ya wale watu ambao tutawaita mbele ya kamati hii ya Senate ni waziri anayehusika na mambo ya mawasiliano. Tumekubaliana pia ile inaitwa Communication Authority of Kenya. Pia nao watakuja, manake wao ndio wanahusika na mambo ya lessons za watu kutumia TV na mitandao. Sasa mipango yetu ni kuwauliza ni standards gani ambazo wanaweka kukubali watu kuendelesha mambo ambayo yanaumiza wengine.
Sasa mtu mmoja huyu bila bunduki, bila nini, ameua watu zaidi ya 236. Lazima nini kujulikana nini.
Tana River Senator Danson Mungatana is leading a Senate committee in finding the root cause of the problem. The Senate committee is set to meet religious leaders, security officials, victims, and witnesses throughout the probe.
The Senate is a deliberative house. We are never going to take one direction. We will have to hear everybody before a decision is made. So we cannot set specific directions right now because that will be predetermining our probe. So give us time and we will deal with the issues.
Senator Mungatana says the event in Shakahola must be handled with care and victims treated with dignity. The senator said those who volunteer information will not be victimized.
Letu tunaomba wananchi wale watakopata nafasi kuongea na sisi watupatie yote, kwa sababu sisi sio kama vitengo vya kiusalama. Sisi ni watu ambao tunataka all the information na tunatafuta pia solution ya hii maneno. Hii vimefanyika, tutafanyaje ili siku ingine isiregelewe yaliyotendeka hapa Shakahola.
For Easy Friday, I am Anboro.
Now, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua says the government will soon release capitation funds to technical, vocational and educational training institutions to enable them meet their obligations. The Deputy President says the release of funds from the Exchequer had been delayed as the government collected more funds.
I am glad to note that the government has made available a budget of 1.05 billion in the 2023/2024 financial year to construct the first 15 TTIs. Further, I am glad to note that Nyeri County already has TVET institutions in all the 6 constituencies and 28 vocational training centers, or the village polytechnics as originally known, under the management of the county government. This is an enormous resource for the youth of this country.
Now, awareness and enforcement of traffic rules has led to a reduction of 6% in road accidents this year. The National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA, says the reduction can be attributed to continuous traffic rules awareness and the various road safety campaigns. Take a look.
The National Transport and Safety Authority has hailed those obeying traffic regulations. NTSA says many lives can be saved if all motorists adhere to the law. Some 1,258 lives have been lost on Kenyan roads this year.
Kampeni kubwa imekuwa upande wa madereva kwa sababu hao ndio wamechangia sana ajali nyingi sana barabarani. Kwa tukaona hao wenzetu wa pikipiki pia tumekuwa na vikao vingi sana na wao, na ikiwemo pia kuwatia katika makundi tunaita circles.
Though the number is 6% smaller compared to the same last year, the authority says there is a change of mind and many are seeing the need to be mindful of other road users to further protect lives.
Ndogo wameanza kuelewa kwamba jukumu la kuwa salama barabarani ni la mtu binafsi. Sheria inapoanza kuandama itakuandama wewe binafsi, haitakuwa kwamba wewe sasa mko wengi sasa sheria itakuandama wewe binafsi.
The Kenya Transport Rescue Mission, however, says NTSA should strive to ensure 0 deaths on the Kenyan roads.
Ngali ni mzee, iko na kila barua yote, inaonyeshana iko sawa sawa, na ukienda barabara inaona inashindwa na kutembea. Sasa hizo barua wanatoa wapi?
Kuta driver ya Kenya anafundishwa gari for 3 weeks, na kwa wiki 3 anaenda driving school. Kwa one day anaenda 1 hour. Kwa wiki moja ni masaa 5. Kwa wiki 3 ni 15 hours. Alafu anakuwa qualified, anapatiwa license. Madereva wanafundishwa gari kuendesha usiku, wanafundishwa kuendesha gari long distance.
For Easy Friday, I'm Zainab Said.
Now, Pastor Ezekiel Odero may have his bank accounts unfrozen by Monday next week. Trial Magistrate Ben-Mark Ekubi, in a ruling Friday, said the Directorate of Public Prosecutions must furnish the court with fresh reasons as to why Odero should be denied access to his money. The DPP had petitioned the court to have the preacher's bank accounts frozen for 30 days, but that request was denied.
Pastor Ezekiel Odero has been handed a temporary reprieve. He had requested that he be allowed access to at least 3 of his bank accounts.
The whole country and the media is here is already aware that under the Kenyan law, ex parte orders or fee snatcher, it's 14 days. What do we tell the whole world? That the judiciary has refused to implement its own decisions because the DPP needs to be consulted.
However, a ruling made on Friday may see the pastor regain access to all his bank accounts as early as Monday next week.
The court's duty in such a case is to assess independently and objectively the evidence present at the time the warrant was issued and determine whether there was reasonable grounds placed before the court to establish the applicant's entitlement to an order of search and seizure. This requirement is to be conducted on the basis of the facts as presented before the court.
Magistrate Ben-Mark Ekubi denied the prosecution the request to have the bank accounts frozen beyond Sunday.
So in finality and flowing from the foregoing, I hereby dismiss the preliminary objection dated the 17th of this month of May 2023.
Friday's ruling comes amid spirited efforts by the pastor to have his accounts freed up to enable him to fund over 5,000 children whom he says are under his care. Ruth Wamboi for Easy Friday.
Now, the Kanini Kega and Sabina Chege Jubilee Party factions say the party National Delegates Conference scheduled for Monday is illegal. The faction further says Jeremiah Kioni, David Murathe and Kagwe Gishohi are no longer party officials.
The internal wrangles pitting two factions of the Jubilee Party continue to play out, with a faction led by the East African Legislative Assembly member Kanini Kega and nominated member of the National Assembly Sabina Chege saying that the party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni, David Murathe and Kagwe Gishohi are no longer party officials.
The committee found that Honorable Kioni is guilty of the following charges. A. Gross misconduct. Article 14(3)(1)(1) provides that lack of respect for organs of the party is indiscipline. No organ of the party was spared by the member in this disregard. 2. He lacked respect for the party organs.
The splinter group also says the Jubilee National Delegates Conference convened by the party leader and former President Uhuru Kenyatta and scheduled for Monday next week will not happen.
The members of our party be notified of the IDRC ruling that has stayed the SNDC that had been convened by His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta for the 22nd May 2023. So in fact it means that there will be no special NDC on Monday.
This, as a section of Jubilee Party leaders from the Coast region maintains they will attend the National Delegates Conference on Monday in Nairobi. Led by Mombasa County Jubilee Representative Jasir Nur, the leaders say they recognize Uhuru Kenyatta as their party leader.
Yeye ametuita NDC Jumatatu, sisi tumejadiliana hapa karibu 2 days tuna mikutano. Kwa ajili tuangalie vipi msafara tutatoka vipi hapa tuende zetu Nairobi kwenda kumsupport kiongozi wetu. Wao situharibia.
They faulted Sabina Chege and Kanini Kega for trying to host the leaders who welcomed them to the party.
Mtu bali ashukuru manake kama wewe uwezi, sisi Waislamu kuna kitu tunasema kama uwezi kushukuru binadamu hata Mwenyezi Mungu uwezi kumshukuru.
Wachaneni na chama cha Jubilee. Kina wenyewe na wenyewe ni sisi na sisi ndio tuko. Aheshimu Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Asiangalie hakuna watu ambao wa kutoka Mount Kenya.
Tilio Marco for Easy Friday.
All right, and with that, it's time for us to take a short commercial break, but we will be back in just a moment. Don't go too far. This is Easy Friday.
Kurumisha ndege. Aviator instant game. Be a daring pilot and earn by how much high you can lift the plane. The higher you fly, the higher your win. The sky is the limit. Mozart Bet.
To get Skizatune Hail Mary, dial *811 *963#.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners, now and at the hour of our death. Amen.
To get Hail Mary, dial *811 *963#. *811 *963#.
In the name of Jesus Christ, Mungu anatarajia ukanyange hatua mbele. Wengine wametawaliwa na uchawi, wakati wao umefika. Wewe umenitazama siku ya leo. Neema na kibali cha Bwana kikawe juu ya maisha yako. Cheza Loto Moto.
Kwa majina mimi ni Brian Bosiri, natoka
Maringo Makadara. Experience yangu basically kwa show ilikuwa fun. At first nilikuwa nimechagua box number 10 na 7. Nikaacha box number 10 na ndiko na grand prize. Na za jua wacheze Loto Moto ni real. Unaweza kupata chance ya kushinda pesa poa ama great prizes.
Usisahau kucheza Loto Moto. Shinda milioni 2 kila siku kwenye M-Pesa. Chagua lipa na M-Pesa. Paybill number weka 757070. Account number andika neno Loto. Weka kiwango chochote cha pesa kuanzia shilingi 50 hadi 2000. Lipa kisha subiri draw.
Welcome back to Easy Friday. Now moving on with the live broadcast. And the Council of Governors is accusing the Ministry of Health of overstepping its mandate and attempting to claw back on the devolved health functions. The county bosses are demanding that the ministry recalls the Gazette notices that established entities such as the National Syndemic Diseases Control Council Kenya Tissue and Transplant Authority. Take a look.
A legal tussle is looming between the Council of Governors and the Ministry of Health. The county bosses are accusing the national government of working against devolution.
When the national government through the Ministry of Health tries to implement the same using development partners that are funding the Ministry of Health, then that is clawback. So on the issue of the primary care networks, on the issue of upscaling CHVs, or CHBs, we would like the national government to use existing structures for the counties to be able to implement the same.
There is a crisis in the implementation of devolved health services due to deliberate steps by the Ministry of Health to claw back on the health function, thus derailing the gains made since 2013.
The governors have opposed the creation of National Syndemic Disease Control Council, Kenya Tissue and Transplant Authority, and the National Public Health Institute.
Proposed amendments and legislations by the Ministry of Health that affect counties, governments, without consultations of counties. Additionally, the Council of Governors calls upon the Ministry of Health to desist from clawing back the health function and stop invading the roles of county governments.
The governors want to be involved in the development of primary care networks. The Health Ministry is currently developing a primary health care fund bill that will provide for funding arrangement for the primary care networks. The Council of Governors has also raised alarm over the expired contracts of managed equipment service programs. The county bosses say the situation has caused disruption of specialized health services due to lack of maintenance of equipment.
We call upon the Ministry of Health to urgently extend the service of the contracts or find another mechanism of dealing with this matter, which we have brought to the attention on several occasions, before services ground to a halt.
Gishoki Washira, Prime Edition.
In other news, Major General Afaksard Muthuri Kyugu has assumed office in Goma in the Democratic Republic of Congo as the East African Community Regional Force, that's EACRF, commander. General Kyugu has a wealth of experience in military leadership, command and management in peace support operations. Previously, he served as a demilitarization and reimbursement as well as a repatriation officer at the UN mission in Eastern DRC from 2003 to 2004. He also served as defense liaison officer in Kenya's permanent mission to the United Nations, New York. The regional force has achieved significant milestones since its deployment in November 2022, including ensuring the withdrawal of M23 from previously occupied spaces and other tasks such as the protection of civilians and humanitarian support in the contingent areas of operation. All right, moving on to other news, where plans to relocate families living in flood-prone regions in Migori County are underway. Migori County government says the exercise aims to mitigate effects of natural disasters. The affected families, however, want a permanent solution that will cushion them from the harsh climatic conditions which have subjected them to immense suffering.
Speaking while distributing relief food to over 200 affected families, Migori County Governor Dr. Ochilo Ayako said the county government was working on resettling those who are hard hit by the vagaries of climate change. Over 500 families were displaced from their homes when rivers Kuja and Obware broke their banks, flooding villages, building mud barriers, and leaving a trail of destruction.
We have the constraints of resources, but we are under duty to intervene whenever our people are negatively affected.
In the meantime, agricultural stakeholders in Kakamega County are calling on the national and county government to create a board that will examine and control the fertilizer sold to farmers.
Kuna gap ambayo tungependa serikali itusaidie so that hii mbolea yenye inauzwa kama imefunguliwa, na pia wale wanauza mbolea kushi, shirika kama hilo regulatory body hiyo inaweza kutusaidia kucontrol.
Elsewhere in Narok County, a section of matatu operators now want the government to reduce the cost of fuel as it will force them to hike fares. The operators say they are considering a 50 shillings hike for every route if the situation persists. And residents of Thika in Kiambu County have been warned to be extra cautious when buying milk and liquor from unauthorized persons. Thika Law Court Senior Resident Magistrate Frederick Kome issued a caution while supervising the destruction of toxic milk and illicit brews in Wetavia and Kisii estates in Thika. He said the suspects, who have pleaded guilty to the crimes, were fined between 60,000 to 100,000 shillings.
This is a health hazard, and I would want to urge people to comply with the law and not to sell, adulterated milk to unsuspecting members of the public.
Jacqueline Masharia for Easy Friday.
Now, one prayer that is common among all keyboard warriors, regardless of the religion they subscribe to, is being blessed with crazy amounts of money. This week, they were shown the true meaning of having money in abundance, and this did not go down well with the cyber surfers. The savage netizens, mesmerized, flooded all the socials to express their shock.
Money, it's amazing when you have it, sucks when you don't, huh? This week we focus on money drama.
Have you ever been in a room that the temperature just keeps on rising until you feel like you are at a brink of burning alive? It seems like Kenya is shaping up into this exact narrative, according to keyboard warriors who cannot help but critique the situation at hand. Kapalo tweeted, "Nikumoto." Josh with a heavy heart. Watching news and seeing people are crying vile gharama ya maisha imepanda reminds us of some sad reality that ni kugumu sana.
Uchumi iko mbovu, tunataka uchumi ikuje chini kwa wananchi ili tuende nao pamoja. Wasituambie maneno ingine.
Jake responded, "Sugar 2 kg for 40. You will have to go deep into your pockets. Kimewaramba."
Kumbe ilikuwa namna hii.
Ask your nyanye sarcastically, na nilikuwa nimewawarn. But while netizens were still battling with their own miseries, dare I say, poor lives, Mike Sonko dealt them a blow after posting a video show-offing some serious moolah. Martin tweeted, "Hata sijesikia vibaya by the way. Mamristi, hiyo si ni budget ya nchi yako nayo juu ya meza." Alaric tweeted, "You can get depressed if you watch that Mike Sonko video." Jabari, "He, huyu msebana na vile saizi uchumi imechemka."
Unajua pesa wewe? Unajua pesa ama unajua hii kwanza ni apafu ile pocket money.
Billy started a thread asking, "What advice can you give Mike Sonko?" Kefa responded, "I think we should be asking him for advice, fam." Dr. Manyonyi to do a second clip explaining how he made that stash.
This is money. Umesikia? This is money, bwana. This is money, bwana. Bwana, this is money, bwana.
But Toksi interest is...
Tuma pesa, bwana. Tuma pesa.
Robert puzzled asked, Billy, can you recheck your question? Kawangware's finest quoted a parody video of comedian Jugush and asked, who did it better?
Nani amesema sina pesa? Chaos, German Shepherd, garbage. Ina imebaki, ni kukura tutakura, ama ni kuwaga tutafanya nini? Hata sabuni hatuna.
Franklin tweeted, Njugush is sending coded message but it is very hilarious.
Pesa hii ya mafuta imeongezwa 16%. Ndio hiyo. Hii si ni tax hiyo 3%, ni kama tax na sio kama tax ya nyumba. Si ndio hiyo? Tusiheshimiane. Hizi zimebaki, watoto si waende shule. Ni free education lakini tunalipa kitu.
Steven, Njugush remains undefeated. Lewin tweeted, sijawahi kuwa stressed na depression kama after kuona hiyo vida ya Sonko. Don't worry Lewin, yatapita tu just like Diamond said in his song.
Indeed, yatapita. Catch you next week on Savage Netizens for Easy Friday. I am Teresa Mutai.
A very good evening to you from Savage Netizens. Time now to get the latest in the world of business. My name is Betty Kiptum. Now, the Kenya Bureau of Standards has tightened surveillance systems to deal with the proliferation of fake and substandard goods. KBC says it has so far appointed four pre-export verification of conformity firms to enforce the standards. KBC Acting Managing Director Esther Ngari says the standards body also plans to hire more quality inspectors and create a comprehensive list of all imported products and their manufacturers to enhance the level of scrutiny in the country.
Cases of fake and substandard goods have been on the rise in Kenya owing to loose regulations at the ports of entry, corruption and laxity of standards officials. This week, President Ruto fired more than 20 officials from various government entities involved in the clearance of goods. This came after it emerged that state officials allowed into the Kenyan market the distribution and sale of contaminated sugar. The Kenya Bureau of Standards says it has ramped up surveillance of all imported and locally manufactured goods to rid the market of fake and substandard goods.
Because Kenyans are depending on Kenya Bureau of Standards to ensure that we give them what is safe and what they can depend on. So the most important thing is high integrity in all areas of our operations, professionalism in all areas of our operation.
I recognize the effort that we have made as Kenya Bureau of Standards to ensure and safeguard the consumers against unscrupulous traders that may use incorrect equipment as they sell in the market.
The standardization body says the food value chain in Kenya is assessed at every link using a thorough conformity assessment method.
We have always come in to ensure that we are on time to test whatever is in the market, whatever is going to our consumers, because at the end of the day we have to protect our consumers.
KBC, however, says it is working to improve its accuracy and traceability processes in measurement processes.
For the assurance we have put as at the Bureau is to have accredited laboratories to support the system in the economy, that the value of money you pay is consistent with the quality of goods that you purchase.
The standards body has also affirmed that all measurements set in its more than 30 KBC laboratories are in line with global requirements. Hibak Said for Easy Friday.
And Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has promised to get rid of cartels in the coffee subsector and work with stakeholders to address the challenges affecting farmers' income. Gachagua says the government will deal firmly with multiple brokers and middlemen in the coffee production chain so as to improve the situation of the farmers.
The challenges in the coffee subsector have partly been blamed on brokers who exploit farmers by offering low farm gate price for cherries and selling it at a premium. This has seen some farmers doing away with the coffee bushes and opt for other crops or income-generating activities. Speaking at St. Benedict Wamutitu Secondary School in Mukurweini, Nyeri County, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua promised to tighten loose ends in the coffee subsector and remove all brokers and middlemen that contribute to the farmers' challenges.
Rais wetu William Ruto alinipatia jukumu niongoze hii vita ya kuondoa hii watu karibu 17 iko kati ya mkulima na mkunywaji wa kahawa, wote ni waondoe. Ndio ile kitu walikuwa wanakula hapo katikati, hiyo watu 17 irudi kwa mkulima.
A 3-day coffee stakeholders conference has been planned to be held from the 6th to the 8th of next month in Meru to address issues facing the coffee value chain.
Na baada ya hizo siku 3 tutaamua ni nini tutafanya. Ni marekebisho gani tutafanya katika sheria zetu. Ni mikakati gani tutaweka ndio turudishie mkulima wa kahawa heshima yake.
In January, President William Ruto tasked his deputy to lead the coffee sector reforms spearheaded by the Coffee Subsector Reforms Implementation Standing Committee. Serafina Robi for Easy Friday.
Insurance Regulatory Authority CEO Godfrey Kiptum has been ordered by the Regulators Board to proceed on leave pending an investigation into legal and other matters facing the insurance industry regulator. IRA Board chaired by Mwamba Mabonga has appointed Monica Thirima, who is currently the Senior Manager in charge of Consumer Protection, to take over as the acting CEO.
The Insurance Regulatory Authority this week made headlines after failure to settle legal fees with a law firm that has seen the penalties due to it accrue interest increase from 45 million shillings to over 80 million shillings. The court this week ruled that public officers should be held responsible and bear costs in situations where their action makes state agencies incur costs. This was in a case where the Insurance Regulatory Authority has been taken to court by a law firm after failing to settle the amount that has been pending since the year 2021. And today, the IRA board convened a board meeting that decided to send the regulator's CEO Godfrey Kiptum and other officials on leave.
In our discussion, we also realized that the CEO, who is the commissioner of the industry, has never been on annual leave since 2017. And the board has resolved that the CEO takes his leave days, and the days he will be away, the board has resolved that one Monica Thirima will be acting.
Mabonga says the board will work with other agencies to undertake a forensic audit of operations at the insurance industry regulator.
We need to invite the investigative agents, which we will agree upon, either ESCC or any other team or to the general. They come in and flag out those issues so that next time we don't have an incident like that one where the accounts of the authority are attached.
Kiptum has more than 1 year left on his contract as the Insurance Regulatory Authority CEO. Ndusamo Kami for Easy Friday.
Over 10,000 agricultural extension officers across the country are set to benefit from a digital information transfer program that will improve effectiveness in information discharge to farmers. The program by Alliance for Science, a non-governmental organization, has piloted in Kisumu, with Kakamega, Kirinyaga, Nakuru and Uasin Gishu counties also targeted. Wycliffe Okech reports.
Active
of who you are.
The program that targets agrovets, farmers groups and extension officers seeks to build capacity among agricultural extension officers across the country.
People need access to verified and credible information to be able to make sound decisions with respect to what and how it is they can be informed about agricultural practices.
There are about 10,000 agri-vets roughly around the country, and so if we could even through a year get half, even a quarter on digital platforms, we know that it's a drop in the ocean, but all of them have their own networks as well. And we would be able then to give training here, actually, first and foremost, listen. What are the challenges? What are people in the different communities asking for information on?
The pilot phase launched in Kisumu will see 50 extension officers trained on how to avail vital agricultural information to the target groups for enhanced practices and improved productivity.
We want to ensure that through the agri-vets, who are basically a first port of call for anybody who's a farmer, we can ensure that they have more knowledge and credible information which they're able to pass on to various farmers or people who come to them to ask for services or for advice.
So this is a real bridging of the gap as the government steps up its capacity to deliver extension services. We just want to support that initiative.
The organization says it will implement the program in collaboration with the devolved units to identify and respond to the unique farming challenges in each unit. For Easy Friday from Kisumu County, I am Wycliffe Okage.
And Kenya and India are set to collaborate to reduce dependence on external energy sources. The partnership will also mitigate the risk of energy disruptions and address environmental challenges through promotion of sustainable development in the energy sector. The joint effort was revealed during the 10th Power and Energy Kenya Expo 2023 held at the Kenyatta International Convention Center.
We'd like to see more opportunities and projects generated from their participation and fruitful collaborations between India and Kenya in the power and energy space. It is a space that holds tremendous potential, and as government we're happy to facilitate the opportunities and to see how both sides, the companies, can grow together to essentially meet the requirements of power and energy sector.
And that's all we had for you from the business desk this evening. Sports news is coming up with Daniel Wahome. My name is Betty Kiptum. Do enjoy the rest of your viewing. Good night.
Nafasi yako ya kuwa mdosi wako. Jiunge na washindi tufanye biashara. Kuwa mshindi. Mozart Bet.
The Mozart Bet Cup enters the semi-finals this weekend as the remaining 4 teams battle for the ultimate prize of representing the country in CAF Confederations Cup. Tusker FC will lock horns with Ulinzi Stars from 12 p.m. while the much-awaited Ingo Derby pitting Kakamega Homeboys and AFC Leopards will kick off at 3 p.m. Catch all the action live on KBC Channel 1 from Nyayo National Stadium. KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Kupata maisha kama sikiza tune yako, bonyeza star 811 star 816 hash.
Maisha ni mafupi, hivyo si vyema kumaliza muda mwingi katika malumbano. Hesabu baraka zako, wathamini rafiki zako na tabasamu ili udumishe amani.
Kupata maisha, bonyeza star 811 star 816 hash. Star 811 star 816 hash.
Sports News is brought to you by Mozart Bet.
Kurumisha ndege.
Aviator Instant Game. Be a daring pilot and earn by how much high you can lift the plane. The higher you fly, the higher your win. The sky is the limit. Mozart Bet.
A very good evening to you. My name is Daniel Wahome and welcome to Easy Friday Sport. Now, 3 FIA rally stars, that Makreke Mathi, Hamza Anwar and Jeremy Wahome, have landed a sponsorship package from the Ministry of Sports which will enable them to effectively take part in this year's edition of the WRC Safari Rally, set to be held between the 22nd and the 25th of next month in Nairobi and Nakuru counties. This year's edition marks the third year since the Safari Rally returned to the WRC calendar.
Sports Cabinet Secretary Ababu Namwamba revealed that the ministry will sponsor the 3 young drivers in this year's WRC Safari Rally, slated between June 22nd and 25th in Naivasha. The funding is in line with the ministry's commitment to develop and nurture young talents in motorsport.
We are giving this event a Kenyan feel. A Kenyan feel in terms of branding, in terms of support, and in terms of actual participation by drivers.
Meanwhile, KCB will spend 150 million shillings towards supporting this year's WRC Safari Rally Kenya. The bank will be the official financial partner for the championship.
And if we build the Kenya Motorsport Federation, there's opportunities for us to make them 5, there's opportunity for us to make them 10. Only then, when they dream and they're on that stage, will we say we've played our role.
This year's WRC Safari Rally, which will be the third since it was reinstated the World Rally calendar, will be flagged off at the Uhuru Park by President William Ruto on the 22nd of next month.
The Safari Rally remained alive until 2019, when we were readmitted to the prestigious FIA WRC Championship.
The whole motorsport fraternity in Kenya, I'd like to publicly applaud you and create ways that we can support our local motorsport in Kenya thrive again.
Now, Kenya Pipeline have qualified for the semi-finals of the ongoing Africa Volleyball Championship in Tunisia after beating Cameroon's Nyong in 3 straight sets. Meanwhile, defending champions KCB have been knocked out after losing by 3 sets to 2 to Algeria's MCA. In the quarterfinal, MCA dominated the first set, winning 25-22. KCB, however, responded strongly in the second set and third set, triumphing 22-27 and 20-25. MCA were back on level terms, winning the fourth set 25-16. The Algerians then won the final set 15-13 to take the match and qualify for the semi-finals. And now the Kenya Rugby League Federation, KRLF, has entered into an agreement with Mozart Bet to become an affiliate partner in the efforts to attract more funds and help in the growth and success of rugby league in the country. The partnership entails the betting company using its existing communications channels to create unique links for the federation and its affiliate clubs to project their sporting activities for a wider local and global reach. Mozart Bet country manager Sasha Kneta says that the partnership showcases their confidence in the federation's ambitious vision and the immense potential of rugby league in the country.
Through a penalty kick.
Now, Kenyan pugilist Daniel Wanyonyi will rematch Karim Mandonga from Tanzania on the 22nd of July in Nairobi for a light heavyweight bout. The bout will be the highlight of the 7 fights on cards, with Wanyonyi eager to revenge the defeat that he suffered on the 14th of January this year, while Mandonga will be out to stamp his authority over the Kenyan opponent. Other bouts on the cards on that night include Albert Kimario of Kenya taking on Ugandan Ben Sabaji, Lucien Botumbe from DRC against Tanzania's Juma Misumali, while in the ladies' contests, Consolata Musanga of Kenya will fight Rachel Musubika of Uganda. The fight is organized by Ultra Fight Series.
Na mimi Mandonga mtukaze, kila nikija Kenya nakuja na slogan mpya. Yaani Mkenya kunipiga mimi, hilo swala sahau. Sasa hivi kinachomkuta Daniel Wanyonyi ni cha kigeni. Kwa sababu kwanza kashakuwa ndugu yangu. Na kuweka undugu hapo sasa ndio nitapompiga vizuri mpaka la.
Nataka shida, nataka hizo bomu zile za Ukraine, nataka hizo sunguinyo,
sitaki amani. Kwa hiyo ring nataka shida tupu, sababu nimejipanga na raundi hii nina dawa ya hizo bomu na hizo vilipuzi za Ukraine, na nataka kueleza Mandonga, mimi nimekuwa Russia live. Waje wewe unaenda Russia kwa mtandao.
You can see what they've done. To invest in such a short time, what he has done today is very important. And for us, we have discussed with him already that the law has to be followed. Ours is to regulate. We make sure he is safeguarded and also the boxers are safeguarded.
We hope that funds come in mass. Depending on how this goes, we will look at what belts to bring, because we'll also look at the caliber of fighters to bring. So it's all dependent upon how this first show goes, but our intention is to bring world title fights to these shows.
Well, makes you think of Muhammad Ali, who was known as the mouth of the South. Now we've got the mouth from TZ, Karim Mandonga back in Kenya. And Daniel Wanyonyi seems to have picked the cue. Look out for that. Now, the National Rugby Sevens team, Shiksha, will fight to remain in the World Rugby 7 Series this weekend when they face Uruguay, Tonga and Canada in the playoffs as the 2022-2023 season of the World Rugby 7 Series culminates in London. The 4 teams finished outside the first 11 after the Toulouse Sevens in France last weekend and will now battle for the 12th spot in the playoffs after the 2024 World Rugby 7 Series was whittled down from 16 to 12 teams. The top 2 sides after the round-robin competition will face off in Sunday's playoff final for the 12th and final slot in the 2024 World Rugby 7 Series.
Kale getting back, but he won't stop him. And Taiga. Again, Japan defending ferociously. Here's Brian Tanga putting on the pace. Look at that. Going through the gears. Stands. What about the action on the pitch? Let's see. Tanga feeds it away to Olindi. Anya straightening. Anya piercing. Anya scoring. Captain looking for the runaround pass. It goes to Noguchi. That was clever. That was seriously intelligent from Japan. Noguchi dancing and jinking. Oh, he's done Edmund Anya. Oh, delayed too much. Couldn't be taken. Abu Kuse, he's quick. And so is Jeff Oluwatch. The qualifies back inside. Tanga, goose stepping, mesmerising, transfixing footwork. To his best. Conversion slotted by Johnston Olindi.
Now, across our borders is that Sevilla beat Juventus 2-1 in the second leg of their UEFA Europa League semi-final clash to reach the competition's final 7th time. The Spanish team will now face Roma in the finals. Elsewhere, Newcastle United thrashed Brighton 4-1 to move closer to playing in the European Champions League football next season.
Europa League semi-final match, winning 3-2 on aggregate. Dusan Vlahovic opener was shortly cancelled out by Suso's equalizer.
Oh, and a goal!
Eric Lamela scored in added time to send Sevilla to a 7th final in the competition, where they will face Jose Mourinho's AS. Meanwhile, West Ham United reached their first major night and 3-1 on aggregate. Fiorentina beat Basel 3-1 last night and 4-3 on aggregate, thanks to a Nicolas Gonzalez brace. And a last gasp extra time winner from Antonin Barach.
Almost won it.
The final will be played on the 7th of next month in the Eden Arena in Prague. Elsewhere, Newcastle defeated Brighton by 4-1 and increased their chances of finishing in the top 4 in the English Premier League. A Denise Undav own goal gave Newcastle the lead before Dan Burn made it to 2-0 just before the break. Undav scored for Brighton immediately after the restart to give the Seagulls hope, but Callum Wilson and Bruno Guimaraes both scored in the dying minutes of the game to secure a well-deserved win for the Magpies.
To the floor, plays it back for Bruno!
And that's the sport for tonight, and as we live, remember, tomorrow from 12 p.m. That's at noon. We're going to have the Mozart Bet Cup semi-finals. It's going to be live on KBC Channel 1 and also live on Radio Taifa, the English service, Ingo FM, Mayenga FM, Minto FM, and for people down at the coast, Pwani FM. Do not miss Ulinzi Stars against Tusker FC. That is at noon, and that game may go into extra time and penalties. And from 3 p.m., it's going to be what has been dubbed the Ingo Derby, Kakamega Homeboys against the FC Leopards. All the which is coming live to you from the Nyayo National Stadium. My name is Daniel Wahome. Have a good evening, and it's time for you to get entertained. It's a furahi day. Shiksha Arora, making sure that anashikisha Friday yako.
Sports News was brought to you by Mozart Bet.
Nafasi yako ya kuwa mdosi wako. Jiunge na washindi tufanye biashara. Kuwa mshindi. Mozart Bet.
All right, thank you very much, Daniel Wahome, for that sports update. And with that, it's time for me to sign out, of course. That's the first segment of Easy Friday. And then moving on to the entertainment side, where we've got DJ Koljax, as he's got all your favorite disco funk tunes lined up for you until 12:30. Remember, we also have the top hits for this week that he'll be playing. And we have a guest who is supposed to be in studio. She hasn't yet arrived, but as soon as she does, we'll get on with this particular segment, that is the Spotlight. Her name is Celestine. I'm sure you know her as Selena. So she is our guest tonight. We hope that she can make it as soon as possible so we can begin. So I'll definitely see you on the other side. Until then, enjoy the fantastic music. Remember, our sign language interpreter has been Lucy Mora. That's good night from the Easy Friday News Department.